You're not here by accident. There's a reason your heart led you here at this very moment. It's because someone who once stood beside you in the light, whose heartbeat once echoed near yours, is trying to reach through the veil that separates this world from the next. They've been whispering your name, not once, not twice, but many times, and today, with everything shaking in the heavens, they called in the power of Archangel Michael to get this message across before it's lost forever. Listen closely, beloved, before it's too late. Michael is here now. The sky is quiet, but his sword is drawn, not for war, but to protect you from what you cannot yet see. There is a voice from the other side, pleading to reach your spirit. And only you can respond. Someone you loved so deeply, who left this world but never left your side, has been trying to show you something. A warning, a truth, a moment you must not miss. Archangel Michael says if you ignore this now, a door will close. And not even heaven will reopen it until it's too late. They tried sending signs, through dreams, through chills in the air, through songs that mysteriously played right when you were about to break. You felt them. You just didn't know how real it was. But tonight, God says it cannot be silent any longer. Your name has been spoken in the realm beyond, and it's ringing like a bell. The energy of that person who passed away is wrapping around you, softly but firmly, because something hidden is about to unfold in your life, and you need their voice to guide you through it. Your hands are shaking because your soul already knows the truth. Before you clicked this message, they were already standing beside you in spirit. That's how fast love travels beyond death. And now Archangel Michael stands behind them, hand on their shoulder, saying, "We must speak now or never." The warning isn't to scare you, it's to prepare you. There's something you're about to walk into, unknowingly, that could change the course of your life. That loved one sees it coming. They're not afraid for themselves. They're afraid for you. Dove, you're already being guided to this for a divine reason. If your heart is open and you feel this message speaks directly to you, you're invited to subscribe and stay connected with more messages that are sent to protect, prepare, and transform your spirit. It only takes one divine word to change your entire direction. Michael knows how much you've been through. The battles in your mind, the confusion in your heart, the silence of unanswered prayers. And that loved one, oh, they've been watching every single tear you wiped away quietly when no one else noticed. They don't want to scare you. They want to comfort you. But also, they need to reveal something that has been hidden from you, something involving a decision you're about to make, or already made without fully understanding it. They saw someone come near you. Someone with intentions that look pure on the surface. But heaven has seen their shadows. This person, whether it's someone you recently trusted or someone about to appear in your life, is not what they seem. And your loved one, who once protected you on earth, is trying to do it again from beyond. They've been sending you red flags disguised as anxiety, gut feelings, or random memories. That was not random. That was them. And Archangel Michael confirms it. This isn't just a message. It's a spiritual intervention. Heaven stepped in because your timeline is shifting. A divine timeline is waiting for you, but a false one is trying to disguise itself as a miracle. That voice from the other side is crying out because they once made a mistake like this, and they don't want you to repeat it. They see what's coming. They see what you can't. And now they are begging you, please listen. Please open your eyes. Please trust what you feel, even if it makes no logical sense. You may be wondering, but why now? Because the window is closing. There are things in the spiritual realm that operate on divine timing, and this is one of those moments. If you delay, you may miss the shift that was meant to restore everything. If you act, even if it's just by acknowledging their presence and listening deeper, a chain of miracles will begin. It starts with one step. One moment of faith. One whisper into the silence saying, I'm ready. I'm listening. Archangel Michael urges you, don't walk away from this. Don't treat this like any other message. Because if you truly knew how much war was being fought in the unseen for your protection, you'd fall to your knees in awe. This loved one stood before the throne of God and said your name with trembling lips. And God said, then we shall speak. Send Michael. Send the signs. Send the call. That's how serious this moment is. That's how sacred your next move is. You're still here, which means your soul already knows this is not a coincidence. Your breath may be steady, but your spirit is awakening with each word. That's how it begins, first a strange feeling in your chest, then that quiet inner voice that says, something is about to happen. You're not imagining it. That's the echo of a heavenly conversation that had your name in it. And now, the loved one who passed away is reaching again, hoping you won't close your heart this time. Archangel Michael leans in, watching your every heartbeat. His wings don't move, but his presence makes the air feel different. Why? Because this moment was written into your spiritual script before you were even born. Your life isn't random. And neither is this warning. Someone from the other side, someone whose memory still makes your eyes water, is not at rest, not because they're lost, but because they know you're about to face something that you don't yet see coming. And they can't hold it back anymore. They tried sending signs through dreams, through coincidences, through flashes of scent or sound that reminded you of them. You might have dismissed it, thought it was nostalgia. But it wasn't. It was a real-time message, wrapped in a memory. They've been trying to tell you that a person around you is wearing a mask. And if you trust them without clarity, it may cost you emotionally, financially, or even spiritually. Michael is raising his voice now, not out of anger, but out of love. Child of light, he says, do not allow yourself to sleepwalk through this spiritual war. Open your discernment. Your soul is far more powerful than you realize, and right now, you need to feel your way through the unseen. The person you're missing is right beside you now. And the urgency in their energy is growing. Archangel Michael leans in, watching your every heartbeat. His wings don't move, but his presence makes the air feel different. Why? Because this moment was written into your spiritual script before you were even born. Your life isn't random. And neither is this warning. Someone from the other side, someone whose memory still makes your eyes water, is not at rest, not because they're lost, but because they know you're about to face something that you don't yet see coming. And they can't hold it back anymore. They tried sending signs through dreams, through coincidences, through flashes of scent or sound that reminded you of them. You might have dismissed it, thought it was nostalgia. But it wasn't. It was a real-time message, wrapped in a memory. They've been trying to tell you that a person around you is wearing a mask. And if you trust them without clarity, it may cost you emotionally, financially, or even spiritually. Michael is raising his voice now, not out of anger, but out of love. Child of light, he says, do not allow yourself to sleepwalk through this spiritual war. Open your discernment. Your soul is far more powerful than you realize, and right now, you need to feel your way through the unseen. The person you're missing is right beside you now. And the urgency in their energy is growing. Can you feel the goosebumps? That's not just emotion. That's spiritual contact. Your spirit is recognizing their vibration. They loved you deeply, and that bond doesn't dissolve at death. It transforms. They've been allowed to come closer tonight because something has reached the final hour. A door is opening, but it won't stay open for long. If you ignore their call, if you brush it off, the opportunity for protection may vanish in the wind. They're whispering a name to you. Maybe it's a name you've been hearing randomly or a person you've suddenly started thinking about more often. That's not your imagination. That's the name of the one involved in this upcoming situation. Your past loved one is urging you to pause, reflect, and listen. You need to look deeper into that situation. Don't move too fast. Don't trust too quickly. There's something hidden, and if you don't slow down, you'll miss the divine clue. God is watching too. And he says this with tenderness, I have sent angels, dreams, and voices to guide you. You are not forgotten. But I will not force you to listen. I have given you free will, but I have also given you spiritual instincts. When something feels off, that's me and the ones who love you, trying to pull you back before the damage comes. This is your lifeline. A spiritual checkpoint. If you ignore it, the consequences may ripple far beyond what you can see now. You may wonder, but how do I know this is really for me? The answer is simple. The moment your heart skipped when you read the opening lines, that was it. That wasn't fear. That was alignment. That was your soul being reminded of what it already knew. You were meant to see this. You were meant to be warned. And above all, you were meant to be spared from something disguised as good but rooted in falsehood. The warning comes with grace, not punishment. The one who passed away doesn't want you to panic. They want you to prepare. They want you to be strong, not scared. They want you to know that a shift is coming. And if you align yourself with their voice and heaven's wisdom, you won't just avoid trouble, you'll walk into blessings you never saw coming. But you must choose wisely. Not everyone in your life right now was sent by God. Michael urges you, Pay attention to the energy, not just the words. Who drains you after you speak to them? Who brings confusion instead of clarity? That's not your fault. That's your soul telling you something. You're being set up for something better, but first you must release what's wrapped in disguise. That's why your loved one is crying out from the other side. They want you to break the cycle they once fell into themselves. This isn't just about protection, it's about unlocking your true path. You've felt stuck lately, haven't you? As if something invisible is keeping you from moving forward. That's because a spiritual fog has surrounded you, caused by people or patterns that don't belong to your destiny. Your loved one sees it. They lived through something similar. And now they're watching, aching, hoping you'll hear them when they say, "Don't let history repeat itself." They're not mad. They're not disappointed. They're desperate, in the most loving way. Because they know if you get through this moment with eyes wide open, your entire life will realign. Peace will return. Doors will open. And finally, the healing you've been praying for will begin. But first, you must listen. And if you're still here, it means your heart is responding, even if your mind is still catching up. That's okay. This kind of message isn't meant for the head, it's meant for the soul. Your spirit already recognizes the voice calling to you, even if you can't hear it clearly yet. That voice from the other side, trembling but determined, is saying your name not with fear, but with fierce love. Because what's approaching could either be a breakthrough or a breakdown, and the outcome depends on how you respond in this very window of time. Archangel Michael is gripping his sword tighter now. Not because he wants a battle, but because he's preparing to shield you, once you give him permission. The enemy of your peace is near. The one who cloaks their intentions with kind words and soft smiles is more dangerous than they appear. Your loved one sees through them. They've been trying to reveal it through small glitches in your everyday life, misplaced things, forgotten appointments, sudden waves of sadness or tension in a room. These aren't just coincidences. They're cues. Alarms. Silent messages trying to get your attention. Don't blame yourself for not seeing it before. You weren't ready then. But you are now. That's why this message found you. Because God doesn't send revelation before you're strong enough to handle it. You had to go through some pain to wake up. And now, finally, the spiritual veil is thin enough for you to hear what's been trying to reach you since the day that soul crossed into the next life. They didn't leave you behind, they were just moved to a higher vantage point. They can see more now. And what they see is that you are about to enter a crucial fork in the road. One path leads to truth, alignment, healing, abundance. The other leads to regret, loss, and spiritual delay. If you walk blindly, you'll end up where someone else wants you to be. But if you pause and truly listen, you'll walk where heaven meant for you to go. Don't blame yourself for not seeing it before. You weren't ready then. But you are now. That's why this message found you. Because God doesn't send revelation before you're strong enough to handle it. You had to go through some pain to wake up. And now, Finally, the spiritual veil is thin enough for you to hear what's been trying to reach you since the day that soul crossed into the next life. They didn't leave you behind, they were just moved to a higher vantage point. They can see more now. And what they see is that you are about to enter a crucial fork in the road. One path leads to truth, alignment, healing, abundance. The other leads to regret, loss, and spiritual delay. If you walk blindly, you'll end up where someone else wants you to be. But if you pause and truly listen, you'll walk where heaven meant for you to go. That's why time is short. That's why Michael is here. And that's why that loved one keeps whispering, "Please don't ignore this." The person who is pretending to protect you may actually be the one causing your confusion. They don't wear darkness, they wear the perfect disguise. That's what makes them so dangerous. But your soul already knows. You've been feeling it. You just haven't had the confirmation. Until now. And now that you know, what will you do? Don't rush to act. But don't delay either. Start by remembering the last moment you felt completely at peace. Who was in your life then? What changed after that? Who entered or re-entered your space around that time? Look there. That's where the hidden truth is. Your loved one is trying to show you the exact puzzle piece you've been missing, and if you pay attention, the whole picture will come into view. God is not the author of confusion. That strange restlessness you've been carrying, that heaviness that comes and goes without explanation, that's your inner compass trying to tell you this situation, this connection, or this decision needs your highest discernment. Not your emotions. Not your hopes. Your discernment. And you've been given help from the other side to get it right. Heaven is full of love, but earth is full of choices. You're still on earth. And that means your choices shape your future. But you're not alone in those choices. Your angels, your past loved one, and the Spirit of Truth are all with you now. You just need to acknowledge them. Say it out loud if you must. I hear you. I'm listening. Show me the truth. And they will. You're not being warned to frighten you. You're being awakened because you're about to bloom into something beautiful, and heaven can't allow weeds to grow beside your roots. Not now. Not this close to your breakthrough. That's why things have felt heavy. That's why you've been questioning who really loves you and who's just pretending. That's why the same patterns keep showing up, even when you thought you'd already healed. Your loved one is crying in spirit, not in pain, but in hope. They know how close you are to finally getting it right this time. They're proud of how far you've come. But they're also protective. Because they saw what nearly broke you before. And they won't sit silently while a similar storm brews behind someone's fake kindness. They are determined to get through to you. Even if they have to shake the heavens to do it. You don't have to do this alone anymore. Speak to them. Light a candle. Write them a note. Whisper their name and invite their guidance. The connection has never been broken. You've just been too distracted to feel it clearly. But now, Now you know. Now you see. And now, the choice is yours. Will you pause before trusting someone new? Will you question that too good to be true opportunity? Will you review that recent conversation that didn't sit right in your spirit? Or will you press on without praying, without pausing, and risk losing what heaven is trying to protect? Michael says your name again, this time with more urgency. Because the time to listen is now. Not next week. Not tomorrow. Now. This is your window. The voice calling your name from the other side has been given permission to reach you. Don't let that permission go to waste. You're still receiving this for one reason: your soul hasn't closed the door. And because of that, heaven is still speaking. That loved one, yes, the very one who once held you, laughed with you, protected you, maybe even clashed with you, they are right here, closer than ever, whispering truths wrapped in mercy. Not to haunt you. Not to burden you. But to protect you from what your natural eyes cannot yet detect. And Michael is standing behind them, his wings casting light over your future, urging you to wake up before this chance fades like smoke in the night. There's something spiritual that is trying to break loose around you. You've been feeling it, haven't you? That strange tightness in your chest, that random wave of emotion when you weren't even thinking about anything sad, that sudden urge to change your path, it's all spiritual. You're in transition. And in transitions, the enemy often sends imitations. Imitation love. Imitation opportunity. Imitation peace. Your loved one knows this tactic well. And they're shouting from beyond, please, not this time. Don't fall for the copy. What's coming next for you is heavy with light. It's soaked in miracles. But only if you make space for it. If your hands are holding on to what was never real, how can you receive what is? That's why they're asking you to release, to listen, to discern. And if you do, oh, if you do, you'll see a shift that will feel like heaven breathing on your life again. You won't have to fight for peace anymore. It'll meet you where you are. But the truth must come first. And that truth might sting. It might be about a person you trusted. Someone you defended. Someone you made excuses for. And your loved one has been watching you, heart aching, because they know what you don't know yet. That this person's intentions were never pure. That their connection to you was meant to delay, not bless. You may be tempted to think, but what if I'm wrong? That's exactly why your loved one is intervening. They don't want you walking blindly into a wound that heaven already tried to stitch shut years ago. Don't ignore your intuition anymore. Your gut feelings are not broken. That chill you felt when reading their name? That sudden tension in your body when thinking about that opportunity? That's divine communication. Your loved one is working through your body now, through your senses, your feelings, your instincts, to help you see what your eyes missed. They're guiding you without words. But you must give their guidance space. But the truth must come first. And that truth might sting. It might be about a person you trusted. Someone you defended. someone you made excuses for. And your loved one has been watching you, heart aching, because they know what you don't know yet. That this person's intentions were never pure. That their connection to you was meant to delay, not bless. You may be tempted to think, but what if I'm wrong? That's exactly why your loved one is intervening. They don't want you walking blindly into a wound that heaven already tried to stitch shut years ago. Don't ignore your intuition anymore. Your gut feelings are not broken. That chill you felt when reading their name? That sudden tension in your body when thinking about that opportunity? That's divine communication. Your loved one is working through your body now, through your senses, your feelings, your instincts, to help you see what your eyes missed. They're guiding you without words. But you must give their guidance space. Remember that moment when you almost made the same mistake years ago? You didn't fall for it then because you were desperate. You fell for it because you wanted to believe in someone. This time, you're wiser. But the disguise is stronger. And the warning is louder. That's why heaven had to break into your day with this urgent message. Because the timing is now. You weren't meant to find this later. You were meant to find it right now. Before the next conversation, the next signature, the next meeting. Before the next, yes, that could echo through your life like a chain reaction. That loved one is standing beside you in spirit, whispering, "Please, take a breath before you say yes. Please, read between the lines. Please, ask God for a confirmation. I'll show you the truth if you'll just ask." This is a call to pause. To reflect. To pray. To open your inner eyes and look deeper. Not to fear, but to feel. Because what you feel in your spirit is never lying to you. Even when people are. Even when situations are polished to look perfect. Your soul is the compass, and heaven is realigning it now. Can you remember the last time you knew something in your heart before it happened? That was no accident. You are gifted. You are tuned in. You are watched over. And this message is proof. Heaven hasn't forgotten about you. Your past loved one hasn't abandoned you. And God has not let go of your path, even if you wandered from it. You are surrounded now. Surrounded by spiritual beings who are fighting in the unseen for your future. You've been protected from things you'll never even know about. But this one, you need to know. You need to see it. Because it's a decision point. A doorway. And once you pass through, you won't come back the same. That's why Michael is watching your next step with sacred intensity. Take the signs seriously. If something feels off, it is. If someone speaks perfectly but leaves your spirit drained, that's your clue. If something sounds too good to be true, pause. Ask for confirmation. Ask for peace. Heaven doesn't operate through pressure. It moves through peace. And if peace is absent, God is not in it, no matter how shiny it looks. Your loved one wants you to live free of the burden they once carried. Maybe they were deceived once. Maybe they lost something they never recovered. Maybe they passed with regrets about not speaking up sooner. But now, through the grace of God, they are speaking. Loudly. Urgently. With love so strong it pierces every dimension. And all they ask is that you believe them this time. They're not asking for perfection. Just attention. Just one whisper from your lips, I hear you. Just one pause before you rush forward. Just one surrender of your will to God's direction. That's enough to shift your entire story. So here's your moment. The veil is still open. The message is still echoing. The angels are still gathered. Will you answer? Will you honor what your spirit is begging you not to ignore? You're so close now. Closer than you've ever been, not just to hearing them, but to stepping into a version of your life where you're no longer haunted by confusion, disappointment, or deception. Archangel Michael leans toward you, closer than breath, watching as your spirit prepares to choose. This is your turning point. And that loved one? They haven't taken their eyes off you. They've come too far in the spirit to stop speaking now. And if you quiet everything else, you'll hear it, their voice, trembling with love, whispering, please don't walk into this blind. This is your moment to see. You see, God doesn't send warnings to punish. He sends them to protect. And when the message comes with such urgency that the veil between life and death is pulled aside, that's not a moment to take lightly. You have cried out so many times for clarity. And now it's here. This is clarity. This is confirmation. This is the message your soul has been waiting to hear before taking your next step. You may think, but how do I know who this person is? And here is your answer, the one who drains your energy without giving peace, the one whose presence leaves you questioning your worth, the one who never fully shows their heart but wants access to yours. Look there. That's the connection heaven is cautioning you about. And your loved one? They've seen what this person says behind closed doors. They've seen what they hide behind their eyes. And they're here, desperate for you to not fall for it again. Maybe you're hoping for a sign that this person will change. Maybe you're holding on to their potential. But potential is not the same as presence. And heaven is urging you, don't bet your destiny on someone who refuses to grow. Don't sacrifice your healing for their convenience. That loved one tried to do that once, and they still carry that sorrow in the spirit. They don't want that life for you. This is more than a relationship issue. It's a spiritual trap. One that's been masked in the form of comfort, love, or opportunity. But your spirit has felt uneasy for a reason. That's your shield. That's your divine alarm. And heaven is confirming now, you're not being paranoid, you're being warned. God is so patient with you. Even now, He doesn't force your hand. He invites you into wisdom, into vision, into alignment. And the one who passed away? They've never stopped praying for you. Every angel in the room with them is surrounding your name with intercession. They want your next steps to be chosen in truth, not desperation. Remember, it's not just about who's around you. It's about who you're becoming. The version of you that is waiting on the other side of this choice is stronger, wiser, free. And that version of you doesn't have to shrink to keep someone else comfortable. This is more than a relationship issue. It's a spiritual trap. One that's been masked in the form of comfort, love, or opportunity. But your spirit has felt uneasy for a reason. That's your shield. That's your divine alarm. And heaven is confirming now, you're not being paranoid, you're being warned. God is so patient with you. Even now, He doesn't force your hand. He invites you into wisdom, into vision, into alignment. And the one who passed away? They've never stopped praying for you. Every angel in the room with them is surrounding your name with intercession. They want your next steps to be chosen in truth, not desperation. Remember, it's not just about who's around you. It's about who you're becoming. The version of you that is waiting on the other side of this choice is stronger, wiser, free. And that version of you doesn't have to shrink to keep someone else comfortable. That version of you knows how to trust your intuition, because you've learned it's the language of heaven. Michael says, you've spent enough time doubting your worth. Enough time overgiving to those who don't pour back into your spirit. Enough time staying quiet when your soul was screaming for truth. This is your awakening. The realignment has begun. And yes, it will feel uncomfortable. Yes, you'll grieve the illusions. But oh, what God is preparing for you will be worth every tear. Can you feel your old self loosening? Can you feel the chains of fear and guilt and confusion beginning to break? That's the work of this message. That's the miracle of divine timing. You weren't supposed to hear this last week. You weren't ready. But today? Today your heart is cracked just wide enough for the light to pour in. And that's how healing begins, not in certainty, but in surrender. That voice from the other side is softer now. Not because they're giving up, but because they know you're hearing them. Even if your mind doesn't understand, your spirit is responding. You're remembering their laughter, their advice, the way they looked at you when you were about to make a mistake. That's them now, still watching, still guiding, still hoping you won't lose yourself trying to please people who were never meant to hold your heart. So, what happens now? You listen. You watch. You don't rush. You ask heaven for a sign, and you trust what comes, even if it surprises you. You protect your peace like it's sacred. Because it is. You are sacred. And anything that doesn't honor that no longer gets to stay. You may feel tempted to explain yourself to the one you're walking away from. But you don't have to. Peace doesn't require permission. Growth doesn't need approval. You don't need to be understood by someone who was never meant to stay in your future. Let them wonder. Let them watch from afar. You have bigger things ahead. That loved one will stay with you through this. You'll feel them more clearly now. You may dream of them soon. You may sense their presence when you light a candle, walk in nature, or play a song that reminds you of them. Pay attention. They're speaking. Not always in words, but in the quiet ways the soul knows are real. You've made it this far. And that means you're strong enough to walk the rest. Heaven hasn't forgotten you. The angels haven't stopped fighting for you. And your loved one hasn't stopped loving you, not even for a second. They would cross eternity just to protect you from this moment. And in many ways, they already have. All that's left now is your yes. Say yes to your spirit. Yes to truth. Yes to clarity. Yes to the version of yourself who is no longer willing to ignore red flags just to feel accepted. You're done dimming your light for people who aren't ready to see it. The old cycle ends here. This is your warning. This is your healing. This is your miracle. And it begins now. Now take a deep breath, not just with your lungs, but with your soul. Let this final part pour into you like warm light touching the coldest corners of your spirit. The message was never meant to scare you. It was sent to awaken you. To remind you that you are never alone. That voice from the other side didn't come through just to say goodbye again, they came to say, wake up. You are more powerful than you remember. You've spent too long questioning if you're imagining the signs. Too long second-guessing your instincts, silencing your intuition just to keep others comfortable. But heaven sees all, and now heaven is moving. Your life is about to shift. But you must take your place in that shift. You must step into alignment, even if it means walking alone at first. Because what you're walking into is so much bigger than what you're walking away from. Archangel Michael speaks one final time, his voice like thunder wrapped in peace. This is not just about protection. This is about your rise. The pain tried to delay you. The distractions tried to consume you. But now the light is here. Don't delay. Don't sleep on this moment. The heavens don't cry out like this often. This is divine order. And you have been chosen to respond. That loved one, whose face still flickers in your memory like a sacred flame, is now smiling. They see the shift in you. They know you're finally hearing them. They don't need you to be perfect, they just need you to be present. That's all heaven ever wanted. Not someone flawless, but someone willing. Willing to listen. Willing to feel. Willing to obey the pull of their spirit over the pressure of their surroundings. And yes, the days ahead may ask you to release people you thought would be part of your forever. But in return, you will finally have room for those who love you in spirit and truth. For those who don't drain you. For those who don't confuse you. For those who make your soul feel safe and seen. That's the promise. That's the exchange. But you must first choose peace over pretending. And truth over familiarity. You may feel grief rising, let it. It means you're shedding the old illusions. You're not losing the people who matter. You're losing the ones who blocked the ones who truly do. You're making space for your real tribe. For the spiritual family God has ordained to pour into your purpose, not pull from your power. That begins with this choice. Right here. Right now. You are the answered prayer of someone in heaven. You may not see yourself as powerful yet, but they do. God does. Michael does. The entire angelic army that has followed you from birth is still waiting for your next command. They won't act until you do. They won't fight a battle you continue to stay in willingly. But the moment you choose truth, oh, the gates will open. And what you lost will be replaced with double. Miracles don't always look like magic. Sometimes they look like clarity. Like peace. Like freedom from the confusion that's been sitting on your chest for far too long. Sometimes a miracle is an ending that saves your future. And right now, the miracle is that this message even reached you. The miracle is that heaven allowed a soul to come back just long enough to say, "Don't go that way. There's danger in that path. Choose the light instead." If you listen, if you really listen, your next few months will be unlike anything you've ever experienced. You'll feel lighter. Sharper. Safer. You'll walk into rooms and feel alignment instead of anxiety. You'll speak your truth and feel peace instead of panic. Because you'll finally be living in spiritual truth, not emotional survival. Let this be your declaration: I will not ignore the voice that loves me. I will not betray my soul for temporary connection. I will not walk past signs sent in mercy. I choose vision. I choose protection. I choose alignment. Say it aloud if you must. Speak it into the air. Heaven hears. Your angels hear. That loved one hears. And now, everything begins to move. You'll see confirmations in the next few days, in unexpected messages, in people revealing their true colors, in dreams, in silence that suddenly feels sacred. Trust it all. Write it down. Pray on it. Act gently, but clearly. Move with wisdom, not fear. You are not being punished, you are being positioned. This is your rescue mission. And you have just been saved from something that could have derailed your next 5 years. And to that loved one who reached through the veil just for you, honor them by choosing peace. Honor them by stepping into the life they never got the chance to finish. Carry their wisdom. Heal the bloodline. Break the cycle. Let them rest, knowing you listened. This is the message that was nearly erased. The one that was almost buried by distractions, by doubts, by your own exhaustion. But heaven fought to keep it alive. And now it's inside you. The seed has been planted. What grows from here is up to you. Choose light. Choose truth. Choose your soul over your history. And never again ignore the whisper that calls you back to yourself.
You did not stumble here by accident. This was heaven's perfect timing. The voice calling your name from beyond one thing. for you to feel seen, protected, and reminded that your life is not over. It's just beginning. You are being guided now more clearly than ever. Every sign you will be ignored before is rising again, louder, softer, stronger, closer, because you are finally ready to hear, ready to rise, ready to move definitely. And if this message opened something inside you, if this reminded you that you are never really alone, if it helped you breathe deeper for even a second, then let this be the first of many messages that guides your steps into the light. All you need to do is subscribe now and stay connected to these divine words. There are more messages, coming messages meant only for you, sent from heaven's gate and slide it in love. Don't miss what's next. Your angels are already preparing in for you.